Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup here on Atlantic TV. I am Nkichi Tejere. Here are our top stories. Immigration arrests 125 in Lagos to repatriate 82. INEC adjusts campaign timetable for Osun governorship election. Olu of Warri, Okonjo Iweala to speak at Harvard Africa Conference. Iran agrees to hand over enriched uranium, Trump claims. Junior Aruna clinches silver at WTT Youth Contender France. Now to the news in full. The Nigeria Immigration Service Lagos State Command has arrested 125 foreign nationals over alleged immigration offenses, with 82 said to be repatriated. The Assistant Comptroller General in charge of Zone A, Mohammed Adamu, disclosed this in Lagos, saying the operation was carried out on March 30th in collaboration with the Nigeria Police Force across areas including Agege, Alimosho, Ebutemeta, and Badagry. According to him, the intelligence-driven operation targeted illegal migration and security threats. Those arrested include 100 nationals from the Republic of Niger and 25 from the Republic of Mali, with 43 found to have valid documents, while 82 lacked proper identification and permits. Adamu said the undocumented migrants have been classified as prohibited immigrants and will be repatriated in line with the Immigration Act 2015, adding that the exercise was conducted professionally and will continue as part of efforts to strengthen national security and reduce crime. The Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, has warned regional development commissions to complete ongoing projects before starting new ones. He gave the warning on Thursday in Benin, Edo State, at a two-day retreat involving the ministry, 7 regional commissions and National Assembly members, also cautioning against duplication and rivalry. Momo said the commissions were created to drive coordinated regional development and stressed that new projects must only begin after existing ones are substantially completed and assessed. He urged focus on key infrastructure and services and announced plans for a peer review system to improve accountability and performance. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced an adjustment to the campaign timetable for the Osun State governorship election following a shift in the poll date. In a statement on Thursday, INEC said the change became necessary after the election was moved from August 8, 2026 to August 15, 2026, as part of a revised electoral schedule. The Commission explained that the adjustment affects campaign deadlines, noting that political campaigns in the state will now end by midnight on Thursday, August 13, 2026, in line with the Electoral Act. INEC urged political parties and stakeholders to comply with the revised timetable, reaffirming its commitment to credible, free, and fair elections. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has criticized former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, describing him as a serial failure, while dismissing his recent comments on the state of the nation under President Bola Tinubu. Wike made the remarks on Thursday during an inspection of infrastructure projects in Kuje and other parts of the FCT, where he challenged Atiku to compare his record in office with ongoing developments in Abuja. He also questioned Atiku's credibility, citing past comments attributed to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and urged the former Vice President to continue contesting elections, insisting that the 2027 presidential race was not available to him. The FCT minister also dismissed claims of political interference in the activities of the African Democratic Congress and downplayed the strength of opposition coalitions, saying they posed no serious threat to the ruling party. The Olu of Warri, His Majesty Ogiami Atuashu III, CFR, and World Trade Organization Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala are among speakers for the 2026 Africa Development Conference at Harvard University. The event, scheduled to kickstart today, April 17th to 18th, and organized by the Harvard African Law Association, will focus on reclaiming Africa's agency in a new global order, bringing together policymakers, scholars, and global leaders. Also expected to speak are Nigeria's Minister of State for Finance, Professor Taiwo Oyedele, African Development Bank President Sidi Ould Tah, and other prominent figures from across Africa and international institutions. The Olu of Warri will speak on leadership, values, and influence as the hybrid conference holds across Harvard Law School and Harvard Kennedy School. The federal government says it has no plans to approach the International Monetary Fund, IMF, for funding from its proposed $20 billion to $50 billion support package for struggling economies. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, disclosed this on Thursday in Washington, D.C. during the ongoing spring meetings of the World Bank and IMF, noting that Nigeria is not seeking such financial assistance at this time. The IMF Managing Director, Kristalina Georgieva, had earlier said the fund was preparing between $20 billion and $50 billion to support vulnerable economies, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, amid global economic pressures and geopolitical tensions. However, Edun stressed that while African countries face rising economic challenges and need broader support, Nigeria would not be part of any immediate borrowing plan from the IMF facility. You're watching our daily news roundup here on Atlantic TV. We'll go on a short break. When we return, more news stories on the foreign scene and on sports. To stay tuned.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. Now to the foreign scene. US President Donald Trump says the United States and Iran are very close to reaching a peace deal, adding that Tehran has agreed to hand over its stock of enriched uranium. Speaking at the White House on Thursday, Trump said discussions between both countries were progressing and suggested he could travel to Pakistan if an agreement is signed there. He stated that Iran had agreed to key U.S. demands aimed at preventing it from acquiring a nuclear weapon, while praising Pakistan's leadership for helping facilitate the talks. Trump also revealed that U.S. and Iranian officials had recently held discussions in Islamabad, where further negotiations are expected, though no final agreement has been announced. Dubai says it has completed its first purpose-built flying taxi station, with commercial operations expected to begin by the end of the year. The announcement was made on Thursday after Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, Crown Prince of Dubai, and UAE Deputy Prime Minister visited the electric vertical takeoff and landing air taxi station, described as the first of its kind globally. Authorities say the facility, located near Dubai International Airport, spans 3,100 square meters, features 4 floors, 2 landing pads, charging infrastructure, and parking facilities, and is expected to handle up to 170,000 passengers annually. The air taxi service will be operated by US-based Joby Aviation, which holds exclusive rights for 6 years, as Dubai moves to expand futuristic and sustainable transport options across the Emirates. And now to sports news. Junior Aruna, son of Nigerian table tennis star Quadri Aruna, has won a silver medal at the WTT Youth Contender Series in Metz, France. The young player added the medal to his growing tally just days after winning 2 medals in Luxembourg, continuing his impressive run on the international youth circuit. Competing in both the under-11 and under-13 categories, Aruna impressed most of the under-11 event, where he recorded a 3-2 win over Brazil's Rafael Sugimoto, before defeating French opponent Nolan Hussier 3-0, but fell 2-3 to France's Yacine Idrissi in the final. He was accompanied on the trip by his mother and coach Gagnette, a former international player, while his sister Miriam also competed in the girls under-15 and under-17 events, further highlighting the family's growing presence in the sport. Crystal Palace have progressed to the semi-finals of the UEFA Conference League despite a 2-1 defeat to Fiorentina in Florence on Thursday, advancing 4-2 on aggregate. Ismaila Sarr gave Palace an early lead, but goals from Albert Gudmundsson and Cher Ndor handed the Italian side a second-leg victory at the Stadio Artemio Franchi. The English club, however, held on to their first-leg advantage to book a last-full clash with Shakhtar Donetsk. It was a tense night for Oliver Glasner's side, with injuries to Adam Wharton and Manex Lacroix adding to their concerns, though captain Dean Henderson praised the team's resilience as they reached a first European semi-final in their maiden continental campaign. Elsewhere, Strasbourg staged a remarkable comeback to beat Mainz 4-0 and win 4-2 on aggregate, setting up a semi-final meeting with Rayo Vallecano, who also progressed despite a 3-1 defeat at AEK Athens. Now let's check what the weather would look like for major cities across Nigeria. That brings us to the end of our daily news roundup here on Atlantic TV. Do all to follow us on all our social media platforms for more news stories and headline updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a pleasant weekend.